There comes a moment in every person's life when you look around at everything you've been given, your skills, your relationships, your resources, and you quietly wonder, what is all this for? You might be doing well by the world standards, or maybe you're just surviving, holding on by threads. But regardless of where you are, deep down, you sense that something is being asked of you, something more than just existence. You feel a tug, like life is calling you out of comfort and into something greater. Not louder, not fancier, just deeper. And it's in that tension that many people get stuck, because they think that blessings are just rewards, not tools. They mistake the applause of others for approval from God. But here's the truth. What's been placed in your hands is not random. It's not for show. It's not even primarily for you. It's for something far more eternal. Jesus never called people into comfort. He called them into purpose. When he invited people to follow him, he wasn't handing out stage lights and microphones. He was handing out assignments, real ones. He saw value not in those who looked the part, but in those who were willing to surrender the part. In the same way, if you're being elevated, if new doors are opening, if people are beginning to notice you, don't let it swell your ego. Let it awaken your assignment. The platform you've been given, whether it's your workplace, your family, your art, your voice, is not for claps, it's for calling. God is giving you favor not to make you comfortable, but to make you useful. You're not here just to feel good. You're here to build what he planted inside you. So ask yourself today, am I chasing recognition, or am I chasing alignment? You might be wondering, if I'm meant to live with this kind of purpose, why does it feel so lonely? And here's where things begin to shift. Because what you need to understand is that not everyone around you is meant to stay, but the ones who come now, these are different. The people being brought into your life in this season are not distractions. They are destiny connections. They are not here to flatter your ego. They're here to sharpen your mission. Maybe in the past, your trust was broken. Maybe you've been burned by friendships, manipulated in relationships, or just overwhelmed by shallow connections. But God is healing that now. And his way of doing that is not just through solitude, but through restoration. He's placing people around you who see the oil on your life and don't envy it. They protect it. He's sending people who will challenge you in love, not compete with you in silence. But you have to stay alert. Don't miss your answer because it came dressed in humility. Don't dismiss support because it didn't look flashy. Jesus built everything through relationships, but not all relationships were equal. He had the crowds, yes, but he also had the 12. And within the 12, he had the 3. He understood levels of connection, and he taught us to be discerning about who we let into our inner circle. Not everyone should have access to your spirit. Not everyone should speak into your identity. Some people will cheer your past, but not support your future. So in this next season, you must learn to listen to the spirit within you. Pay attention to peace. Discern who aligns with your assignment, not just who entertains your emotions. If they pull you away from your purpose, even if they feel comfortable, you must let go. But when someone enters your life and you feel a quiet confirmation, not just excitement, but alignment, don't push it away. Don't overthink it. Sometimes God answers your prayers with people. Now, let's talk about the promise. The thing you've been holding on to in silence. That dream you've nurtured in the dark. That whisper from God that made your heart beat faster, but didn't make sense to anyone else. You've waited. You've served faithfully even when no one noticed. You've prayed through disappointment, believed through uncertainty, and stood with trembling hands, still choosing to hope. And now, something is shifting. It might not look like it on the outside yet, but spiritually, something is unlocking. The promise is awakening. And when that happens, everything changes. This is not just a time of fulfillment. This is a time of movement. Some answers will arrive like a slow rain, subtle and gradual. Others will crash through like a door flinging open. But hear this, don't get so attached to the process that you miss the provision. Don't be so married to your plan that you overlook God's pivot. When Jesus told his disciples to follow him, he never gave them a map. He gave them his presence. Because faith doesn't rely on clarity of the path. It relies on the closeness of the guide. You're not being asked to predict everything. You're being asked to obey one step at a time. Some of you are so focused on when that you've forgotten who you're walking with. When will it happen? When will I see results? When will I feel peace? But maybe the better question is, am I still walking with Him? If you stay close, He'll lead you, not through confusion, but through clarity. Even if the steps feel unfamiliar, peace will confirm that you're on the right track. Don't chase outcomes. Chase obedience. Don't chase performance. Chase presence. Because in this season, peace isn't just a comfort, it's your compass. I want to be real with you. This journey isn't going to make sense to everyone. Some people will think you're crazy for believing in what you haven't seen yet. Some will misunderstand your silence. Others will question your decisions. But don't look to them for confirmation. Look inside. God is giving you signs, yes, but the greatest sign is that unshakable peace inside you, the kind that sits quietly even when the world is loud. That's not emotion, that's evidence. And when the promise starts to manifest, you'll look back and realize that the waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God didn't forget you, He was forming you. And now that the promise is here, you must learn to live from it, not just toward it. So I leave you with this. You are not here by accident. You are not where you are for decoration. You are being called into divine purpose. Your platform is for impact. Your connections are for alignment. And your promise is no longer a theory. It is a reality in motion. Don't freeze. Don't fear. Just walk. One step, one breath, one yes at a time. And you will see what He spoke over you come to life, not just around you, but within you. Now that you've stepped into the promise, something unexpected starts to happen. The terrain gets steeper. The path feels narrower. You thought that once the door opened, things would finally get easier. But what you're starting to realize is that elevation doesn't remove pressure, it reveals it. You're stepping into spaces that once felt like dreams, but now they demand a different version of you. The one who prayed for this season cannot carry it. You're being stretched, refined, and tested. Not because you're failing, but because you're growing. Jesus never sugarcoated the cost of calling. He said the way is narrow, and few find it, not because it's hidden, but because it's heavy. And what's heavy requires humility. You may find yourself misunderstood in this season, not by enemies, but by those you love. People will start to notice you changing, evolving. You're quieter now, more focused. You don't show up to every argument. You don't entertain every opinion. And some people will take it personally. But hear me, you don't need to explain your obedience to those who don't understand your assignment. You're not being distant, you're being drawn, pulled into something more sacred, more intentional. You're shedding old habits and conversations because God is teaching you to carry something sacred. And sacred things require silence, protection, discipline. The version of you who used to need applause now knows how to move with authority, without noise. And then comes the silence. That eerie, stretching, holy silence. After you've said yes, after you've sacrificed, after you've obeyed, suddenly, heaven feels quiet. Prayers seem to go unanswered. Doors stay shut. The peace you once felt so clearly now feels faint. And in those moments, you'll be tempted to believe that God has left you. But He hasn't. He's just teaching you how to trust Him without evidence. This is where faith graduates from emotion to conviction. It's where praise becomes warfare and prayer becomes oxygen. In silence, your roots grow deeper. In silence, you're not being ignored, you're being trusted. Jesus experienced this too. He knew what it was to cry out and hear nothing. In His darkest moments, He felt alone. But even then, He chose obedience over outcome. And that's what He's teaching you now, to obey even when you don't feel it, to walk even when you don't see it, to trust even when you don't hear it. This silence isn't punishment. It's the sacred space where your faith gets legs. And if you don't give up in the silence, you'll see that what was hidden is being prepared for release. And now, at this point in the journey, something begins to shift. You realize this walk was never about achievements or applause. It was about intimacy with God. That was the real treasure all along. Not the blessings, not the platform, not the outcomes. The reward is Him, the presence that carried you through every storm, the voice that whispered peace in every silence, the strength that held you when you wanted to quit. And now, you were never walking alone. You were being fathered, mentored, shaped by the one who formed your soul. And everything He stripped away, everything He rebuilt, everything He taught you, it was to bring you closer, deeper, home. So here you are, stronger than you thought, quieter than before, but wiser, more focused, and more free. You no longer chase things that look good. You wait for what is right. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You rest in being known by God. And you no longer panic in silence. You've learned to breathe in it. This isn't just growth. It's transformation. You become the kind of person who can carry what you once only dreamed of. Because your strength doesn't come from talent or hustle. It comes from knowing who you belong to. And in the end, that is your greatest power. Not what you do, but who you walk with. So walk boldly now. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who have walked through fire, stood in silence, resisted shortcuts, embraced pruning, and still chose love. People who look like Him. People who lead like Him. People who carry peace, not panic. People who obey even when it costs everything. You are that person. And you are just getting started.